It's not all that often that free-to-play games explode in popularity owing to the ongoing scourge of microtransactions and fees associated with them being free, which tends to prey on unsuspecting players looking to have fun. The Finals doesn't appear to be going down this path of operation, and is shaping up to be one of the best future free-to-play FPS games with massive potential with what I have experienced with their playtest. It's honestly unrivaled in terms of structure and feel throughout each match. While a little bit unbalanced, it could turn out to become one of the best games of the coming year. The only real issue that's been on everyone's mind is that the game isn't working because of how popular it's gotten in the last 2 days after its release, hitting the top 10 rankings with a lot of fluctuations due to not being able to manage the amount of players wanting to get in. The balancing in this game is completely off. Many players are already making use of the items like the sledgehammer on heavy builds, which allows them to launch trigger cash boxes into higher and more difficult to reach positions, while also camping them from the sidelines. Not to mention how much damage they do when playing a melee build that can one-shot a light or medium build and potentially two-shot another heavy, while also still absorbing a full magazine without dying. I just think a bit of toning down is in order for some roles. Presentation of a game show with narration and atmosphere is excellent. One word describes the elements of this game, and that is fresh. I'd love to see more games focus on the destruction aspects of PvP, similar to how Battlefield and BattleBit do it, but more expanded on because the presentation of this game is fantastic and well done. I'm actually quite tired of people camping inside of structures, so with the appropriate cooperation with your team, you can actually fully collapse a structure on top of them, trapping them under the rubble or beneath them and set up an ambush or a layer of strategy that will remove their precautions. This allows you to easily access the box and take it away from them using exploits such as the sledgehammer as previously mentioned. This is why I think it's important for this game not to fail to fix these issues. In light of the fact that there will be ranked games, it will simply result in the same builds and playstyles being used to exploit the features. I get that moving the box is part of that feature. The fact that you can do stuff like this and let it float in the air with goo grenades just feels very underhanded from a player's perspective. The gameplay, while unbalanced, is very fun to play with your friends, but not so much to play with random people since there isn't really much communication going on with the current state of the game. So you'll have a lot of players running around but not actually grouping around and helping each other out, making it very frustrating to watch. You play as a team of 3 in a variety of game modes, which I hope will be expanded upon in its coming release or in the future. You can revive after dying so long as your entire team isn't wiped, but if they do wipe before your respawn timer is reset, it will reset to 20 seconds, which is heavily inconvenient. Unless you're playing quick play, you only have a limited number of coins to spend on revives, so if you see your teammates down, attempt to pick them up or flee to safety if you fear you can't. It's actually quite fantastic to see that you can actually pick up one of your allies and carry them to safety with you, providing you an array of different elements to use to make sure your teammate stays in the game. While a lot of players are frustrated because they can't get into the game, which is incredibly enjoyable and engaging to play, the servers just cannot manage the pressure and the load, which they are working hard to fix. People on Steam are also having issues accessing the game's playtest completely, which can be fixed by doing the following things. Sign into the Steam webpage for the game. Press F12 on your keyboard and enter the console section. Type what is currently shown on screen or in the description below and select Request Access. This will bypass the issues a lot of players experience when trying to get into playtests on Steam, so keep in mind if this ever happens to you in the future.